They were once the faces of perfection, adored, idolized, and splashed across every magazine cover. But what happens when chasing flawless beauty turns into a nightmare? Some of Hollywood's biggest names have undergone transformations so drastic, fans barely recognize them. From jaw-dropping public appearances to botched procedures that sparked global headlines, these stories reveal the shocking cost of fame's obsession with youth. And as you'll see, some stars didn't just lose their looks, they lost their entire identity. But one case? It was so extreme, even surgeons were left speechless. When Madonna walked onto the stage at the 2023 Grammys, the world didn't gasp because of what she said, it was how she looked. Fans were stunned. Her face appeared dramatically different, swollen cheeks, pulled skin, and an almost wax-like smoothness that quickly became the talk of the night. The internet exploded. Some thought it was filters, others believed she had gone too far with Botox and fillers. But one thing was clear, people couldn't stop talking about her face, not her music. Madonna responded in classic Madonna fashion, unapologetic and defiant. On Instagram, she slammed the media for being ageist and misogynist, claiming she was caught in the crossfire of a culture that refuses to let women age in peace. And maybe she had a point. But behind the confidence was a woman who'd spent decades in the brutal spotlight, constantly judged for every wrinkle, line, or change. Cosmetic experts chimed in, speculating about overuse of dermal fillers, possible thread lifts, and even facial fat grafting. Some suggested the swelling could have been temporary, but others warned that repeated procedures could permanently alter facial structure, a price many stars pay to stay relevant. And while Madonna claims she was caught in the glare of camera lenses with a long lens, the public remained divided. Was she a fearless rebel owning her look, or a cautionary tale of pushing cosmetic enhancement too far? Either way, she had everyone watching. But Madonna wasn't the only one who left fans speechless with her transformation. Zac Efron was the golden boy of Hollywood, the chiseled heartthrob from High School Musical turned blockbuster star. But in 2021, a short video clip flipped everything. In a blink, fans noticed something off. His jaw looked dramatically wider, his face more square, almost swollen. The internet did what it does best, speculate. Accusations of jaw implants, facial reconstruction, and overdone fillers spread like wildfire. Memes exploded across social media. People asked, what happened to Zac Efron's face? Then came his explanation. Zac claimed he had shattered his jaw in a freak accident, slipping and smashing his chin on a granite fountain. The damage, he said, caused his muscles to overcompensate and grow, especially around the jaw. But not everyone bought it. Cosmetic surgeons who hadn't treated him weighed in. Many noted that muscle growth alone wouldn't cause such a defined and symmetrical change. Some hinted at possible jawline fillers or surgical contouring. Even one said the transformation looked too perfect to be accidental. The buzz only grew when before and after photos began circulating online. His once naturally angular face now had a cartoonish definition that fans couldn't ignore. While some defended his right to change his appearance, others felt like he had lost the boy-next-door charm that made him so beloved. Zac stayed mostly silent after his initial comments, letting the storm pass. And maybe that's the most telling part. In Hollywood, the less you say, the more people speculate.
At the height of her fame, Lil Kim was more than just a rap icon. She was a fashion force, a rebel, and a face that defined late 90s hip-hop glam. But over the years, fans watched as her appearance changed so drastically, many barely recognized her anymore. Gone was the sharp, natural beauty she once flaunted on magazine covers. In its place, noticeably lighter skin, narrower facial features, plumped lips, and contoured cheeks that sparked endless debate. The transformation wasn't subtle, it was shocking. Some speculated on skin bleaching, nose reshaping, cheek implants, and heavy use of fillers. Others pointed to pressure from the industry, from fans, from being a Black woman in a world that often celebrates Eurocentric beauty standards. Lil Kim never offered a detailed breakdown of her cosmetic journey, but she did speak out, saying that years of abusive relationships and harsh criticism about her looks had deeply impacted her self-esteem. And that's what made her story different. It wasn't just about beauty, it was about survival, about trying to reshape an identity in a world that tried to tear it down. Experts have pointed out that the combination of surgical alterations and makeup contouring has created a look that's almost mask-like. But for Kim, it was never just about vanity. It was about control, and maybe even protection. Fans remain torn. Some celebrate her confidence and evolution. Others mourn the features that once made her so iconic. But whether you admire or criticize, one thing is undeniable. Lil Kim's transformation is one of the most dramatic in entertainment history. And yet, what one actor did to fix his appearance ended up destroying it. There was a time when Mickey Rourke was Hollywood's ultimate bad boy, rugged, magnetic, and devastatingly handsome. His roles in 9.5 Weeks and Angel Heart cemented him as a sex symbol. But decades later, when he stepped out in public, fans were stunned. His face was barely recognizable. What happened? Mickey had traded the spotlight for the boxing ring in the early 90s, and with that came brutal injuries, broken cheekbones, a crushed nose, and damaged teeth. To repair the damage, he turned to plastic surgery. But by his own admission, he made a critical mistake. He went to the wrong guy. The results were devastating. Multiple surgeries to fix previous ones only made things worse. His nose collapsed, his eyes lost symmetry, and his skin looked unnaturally stretched. "I had 5 operations on my nose and 1 on a smashed cheekbone," Mickey revealed. "I went to the wrong surgeon to put my face back together." Instead of restoring his looks, the surgeries chipped away at them one scalpel at a time. Critics were ruthless. Tabloids mocked him. Roles dried up, and the once celebrated actor found himself battling not just facial damage, but emotional scars far deeper. He later confessed to feeling isolated, ashamed, and desperate to reclaim even a shadow of his former self. And yet, he refused to disappear. Mickey staged a powerful comeback with The Wrestler, earning critical acclaim and even an Oscar nomination. But despite his acting resurgence, the conversation around his appearance never truly ended. His story is a haunting example of how a single decision, driven by damage, pride, or hope, can spiral into irreversible change. But the next celebrity didn't wait for the world to criticize her. She admitted the truth before anyone else could.
For millions, Courtney Cox will always be Monica Geller, witty, beautiful, and effortlessly charming. But off-screen, the pressure to maintain that image followed her like a shadow. And in Hollywood, staying youthful isn't a suggestion, it's an unspoken demand. As the years passed, Courtney turned to cosmetic enhancements to keep up with that pressure. Fillers, Botox, and subtle tweaks slowly began changing her face. At first, it was barely noticeable. Then suddenly, it wasn't subtle at all. Fans started to notice. Critics whispered. Online comments turned brutal. But instead of denying or deflecting, Courtney did something rare. She told the truth. In an interview, she admitted, "I didn't realize it until one day I thought, oh, I don't look like myself anymore." She revealed that well-meaning doctors had continued adding fillers over time, subtly altering her features until the person staring back at her in the mirror felt like a stranger. It was a quiet unraveling, not the result of one big surgery, but of small decisions that slowly built into regret. Eventually, she reversed everything. She had her fillers dissolved and chose to embrace a more natural look, and the difference was immediate. Fans praised her for her honesty. Friends said she looked refreshed, like herself again. Courtney's story resonated for one powerful reason. She owned it. She spoke openly about how easy it is to go too far,
especially when everyone around you says you're just improving. And in doing so, she became a cautionary voice in an industry that rarely admits when beauty crosses the line. But not every celebrity gets a second chance. For some, the transformation becomes their entire identity. Carrot Top was never known for subtlety. From his wild red curls to his outrageous stage props, he built a career on being over the top. But somewhere along the way, his appearance took that same direction, and then kept going. By the late 2000s, fans began asking, what happened to Carrot Top? The once goofy comedian suddenly had bulging muscles, shockingly tight skin, and a face that looked sculpted by AI. His jawline sharpened, cheeks appeared puffed, and his eyebrows looked frozen in surprise. Speculation exploded. Rumors of Botox, facial fillers, brow lifts, and even plastic implants swirled across tabloids and social media. One viral post joked he looked like Jim Carrey playing The Mask after a gym bender. Others weren't laughing. They were concerned. Despite the transformation, Carrot Top never fully confirmed any procedures. He brushed off questions with humor, saying his face changed naturally from working out and growing up in Las Vegas. But cosmetic surgeons weren't convinced. Many pointed to signs of overfilled cheeks and excessive skin tightening, classic results of chasing youth in high doses. What made his case even more unusual was the combination of extreme facial changes with an aggressively bulked-up body. His new look wasn't just different, it was surreal, like a caricature of his former self. And still, he stayed on stage. In fact, his career thrived in Las Vegas, where his altered appearance became part of the spectacle. Carrot Top's evolution became more than a makeover. It became his brand. Love it or hate it, no one could look away. But while some embraced their changes, others sparked a full-blown cultural shift, and no one changed beauty standards quite like the Kardashians.
When the Kardashians rose to fame, they didn't just take over reality TV, they rewired the entire beauty industry. Fuller lips, sculpted cheekbones, hourglass figures, high-arched brows. Almost overnight, this became the new gold standard. But behind the glam filters and red carpet poses was a quiet revolution powered by cosmetic procedures. Lip fillers, Brazilian butt lifts, nose jobs, jaw contouring. Some confirmed, many speculated, turned the family into walking templates of what millions would soon chase. Kim Kardashian denied having a BBL for years, only to admit in 2022 that she had a little bit of filler and some skin-tightening treatments. Kylie Jenner famously claimed her lips were just overlined before launching a billion-dollar cosmetics brand off the back of filler-fueled lips. Khloe openly discussed her nose job and Botox use while still dodging questions about everything else. Their influence wasn't subtle. Surgeons reported spikes in procedures immediately after Kardashian appearances. The Instagram face, plumped lips, lifted eyes, smooth skin, was born in their image. Entire aesthetic shifted, and with it, the pressure skyrocketed. But by 2023, something changed. Reversal trends began popping up. Fans noticed Kim and Khloe looking slimmer, with more natural contours. Kylie admitted to dissolving her lip fillers. Suddenly, what was once desired was being undone, and people started asking if the damage had already been done. Behind every filtered selfie was a cautionary tale, because while the Kardashians claimed to promote self-confidence, many argued they fueled insecurity, not just for fans, but for celebrities racing to keep up. Their legacy is complicated. They redefined beauty, but also blurred the line between reality and illusion. And in Hollywood, chasing illusion can come at a cost no surgeon can fix. In the race to stay forever young, Hollywood has become a hall of mirrors, where reflections are edited, injected, and sculpted until the original face is lost. Behind every flawless red carpet photo lies a story of pressure, regret, denial, and sometimes desperation. For some stars, cosmetic surgery offered a second chance. For others, it became a lifelong battle with identity. They weren't chasing beauty, they were chasing relevance, security, and acceptance in an industry that punishes even the hint of aging. But the truth? No amount of filler can fix what fame breaks from the inside. From Madonna's defiance to Zac Efron's speculation, from Lil Kim's reinvention to Mickey Rourke's admitted regret, each transformation reveals more than just a change in appearance. It reveals the price of perfection when the spotlight never turns off. And still, the cycle continues. New faces rise, trends shift, the scalpel waits. Because in Hollywood, the real question isn't who's had work done, it's who's hasn't yet.